Hi, baby. Good morning. I wish you guys could see this dog. Hi, baby. I'm moving these tentacles. I think I decided against them. Or at least, maybe not against them, but I'm going to add them back in. Ooh. Alright, so I'm learning some things. One is I should probably fill these little gaps and holes before I start building up because I can see all these little air pockets in here. So. And listen. Changed locations again. Hopefully you guys can hear everything okay. Let me know. Hey HB, good morning. How are you, friend? Trying at another location. Let me know if you can hear the music okay or not. There's a lot of heater happening. Yeah, it's cold. Morning, Andy. How are you? Happy Monday, everyone. Can you guys hear the music? I know my dog is playing with a toy. You can probably hear that behind me. That rattling. Okay, thanks, HB. How are you guys? I feel like I just talked to you since I was on Wednesday and Friday last week. Oh, I got the next telepathy tapes done, like the filming done. So today I will be editing, and depending on how long it takes, I'll get it out today or tomorrow, hopefully. And it's actually much shorter than I expected, considering how hard it was for me to write. And I think it might have been hard for me to write just because I didn't really come to the same conclusion as the show. And so I was like struggling with my verbiage, but it's done now. Hopefully I'll get it out really soon. And then Savants is next. I really want to get faster at this. I really, really do. I want to become more efficient in getting content out. The research part, I think, took a really long time for this one, simply because even though in the video I don't know that the payoff is much, but I think because I wanted to really double check my work and make sure that before I was saying that I didn't necessarily agree, I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. if that makes sense. So took quite a bit of research and rewriting, and I don't know. I'm already ready to move on. I'm also missing coloring already. I'm really enjoying this project, but I'm finding that since I'm not coloring and I'm just doing this when I'm on live, I'm itching to color on the side, and I haven't been taking the time because I've been trying to get these episodes out. Plus, every time I set this up, I am... Oh, hi, bud. Every time I set this up, I am trying to improve. So that's always taking a long time. Like I said, we're going to blink and be back outside. Absolutely, Andy. Thank you. I think it can get scary sometimes asserting yourself online. I don't know if it's... Maybe it's just a person-to-person thing. Maybe it's a woman thing. I don't know. But it feels a little bold, even when it's not. And I think maybe it's just because it's the first time, too. You know what I mean? The first time I went live, I was scared shitless. Like, I had to talk myself into doing this, and I didn't even know if anyone was going to show up. And now, it doesn't bother me at all. So I think it's just, you know, one of those things. It's just the first time. Are those male? No, this is air dry clay. Hi, Beverly. How are you? Yeah, no, this is air dry puffy clay. Different than polymer clay. It's a lighter texture and really airy and fluffy, yeah. I'm not a clay artist. I'm just a creator and playing with clay this time. I was really trying to get the color to come in better, but that's what it is. It's not bad on the screen, it's just not exactly right. It looks a little out of focus, honestly. I feel like I watched some UFO stuff and I can't remember anything right now. They look very light and clay looks heavy. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I agree, Beverly. That's how I got into this. Was I saw it and I was like, this looks different. This looks fun. And it's very bouncy. Let's see. I don't know. This is a dried one. And you can't tell. So, like, I'm squeezing it and it doesn't have any give. So once it dries fairly hard. But if I wanted to, I could just crush this. But it is... Like, it doesn't make a sound or anything, but it is hard. Now it feels like hard. It feels like really strong styrofoam now. Strong styrofoam. But here, it's like air puffy Play-Doh. Ooh, Andy. I don't know what you're talking about. Alcubierre warp drive? I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't know what that is. No, I didn't, HB. I completely forgot. Hold on. I'm going to put that... One second. I'm going to put it up right here. Okay. I completely forgot about that, HB. I'm so glad you said something. No, I did not catch that. I did... Oh, man. I had some weird dreams last night. I did spend a long time thinking of my friend that was in the program. I did actually try to see if I could find anyone related to him. This weekend, I forgot. I did a little bit of investigative work. I may have found his sister on LinkedIn, but I cannot find his parents. I can't find... of Facebook, I can't find his ex-girlfriend, I can't find anything. I just have one LinkedIn that I think might be his sister. I tried to figure out who he was friends with when we graduated school to see if maybe they stayed friends with him, and I really can't even think of who might have been. And I don't have any of my old yearbooks with me, or that would help. But speaking of the GATE program, I did, I guess, do a little bit of work with that, trying to see if I could find out more about my friend. Thanks, Beverly. Yeah, it is really nice for anxious, busy work. It's just nice for art and activity too. I actually got this because I wanted a activity for my family to be able to do over Christmas. And my stepsister has autism, and I wanted to make sure that I had something that would be okay with her sensory issues and would be tactile and something that she would enjoy doing. And thankfully I was right. She did really like it. She made a really cute owl. She loves animals. Okay, Pavel has it on his short. I want to watch the whole thing, HB. But I'll check it all out. Okay, the drive is on Wikipedia, but there are reasons to think UAP used them. Okay, hold on. Alcubierre. I think I might be pronouncing that. Alcubierre? Alcubierre. Drive. Okay, let's see, kids. Speculative concept for faster than light space travel. Does this involve, oh my gosh. New word I just learned. About, what is it? Mass reduction, something. Warping space-time, contracting it in front of a ship, expanding it behind. Einstein's general relativity. Okay, wait, so is it involving that, what I'm thinking of? Okay, I will look more into this for sure. I was looking something up to do with physics that had to do with mass reduction, internal mass reduction. Is that what it was? And that they were talking about using internal mass reduction to potentially travel through space. It was very interesting. I got a little heavy into some like 5D. It was like 5D physics explanations where they were trying to explain the difference between 2D, 3D, 4D, and 5D. And I think that's how I ended up in that area. Does it deal with gravity? The first glance I have, I don't see the mention of gravity, but we'll let Andy ask, or I will look into it later. Okay. Thank you, Andy. I will check this out, I promise. That is something interesting, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of those TikTok time travelers. The people that get online and claim to be from like the future and somehow are making TikToks today. I don't believe any of them, but I do wonder how they make these videos so well. Now AI, I don't wonder anything anymore, but there is one guy who came out like a year ago or so, maybe a little more now, who had this story about the guy, I don't want to call it a time traveler because it's just a theory, but the guy that went into the shed on his property and then he called the police and he was watching the camera the whole time and the guy never left the shed, but when the police got there, he wasn't there. And then like a day or two later, all of a sudden he got a notification on his camera again of activity and he looked and it was like some guy leaving his shed and he was dressed the same as the other guy, but it was like 2 days later and this guy was like 30 years older and there was no footage of him going into the shed, just him coming out. And it's like this whole thing. And people started looking it up and this guy that was caught on this Ring camera, the old guy, looks a lot like this scientist that was known to be studying time travel. And I think died or disappeared, but he's like not around. And I have chills. It's so silly. It's a wild concept, but if I want to allow myself to be a little less logical, it's a really fun one to like look into if you haven't. Yes, Beverly, if you are still watching, um, apologies if the conversation's not what you were expecting. I do art, but we talk about all sorts of things while I do it. Okay, so not gravity, but it puts the craft in a different universe, so you can high speed turns with no G-force. Okay, so that sounds like what I was looking at with the um, mass reduction index stuff, because it was talking about it was talking about being able to do the high speed turns and maneuvers that we don't typically expect. Blah 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 blah. Any of you, do you guys know what I'm talking about with this this time traveler guy? I'm sure it's on YouTube at this point, but it started on TikTok. It was very, at least believable to me. This guy owns this Airbnb, and he naturally has security cameras on his property, and he doesn't live where his Airbnb is. And he got a notification for activity on his Ring camera, and he was watching it, and he saw this guy like climb into his shed, and he was like yelling at him through the speaker on the Ring phone, or on the Ring camera, and then he called the police. And like the whole time, like he includes the police calls, and like the whole time he's on the phone, he's like, no, I'm still looking at the shed, like he's still in there, he hasn't left, there's only one way in and out. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like there's only one way in and out. He's still there, please go. So like he goes, and like the police come to his building and like come to his house, and the whole time he's still watching the Ring camera. So he's watching the police now on the Ring camera, like go and check the shed. And they go and check the shed. They're like, dude, there's no one in here. And he's like, there has to be. I've not taken my eyes off this camera. Like, the guy didn't leave. And it was like, yeah, something like that. And so it was just so weird. And the guy was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I didn't mean to waste your time. Like, I swear to God, like this guy, I saw him go in there. And he's like, I have it on. I've been filming it. It's on my Ring camera. And he shows all of this footage. And then like 2 days later, he came back freaking out and was like, you guys, someone just left the fucking shed, and it's a different guy. And like, how did he get into the shed? Like, it was kind of nuts. And then when the guy like leaves the property, he goes out through the front gate, and you can tell that the guy that leaves the shed knows exactly where he's going. And he like turns and like makes eye contact with the security camera on the side of the building. And the guy's like, I mean, naturally the homeowner's like freaking out. He went to the property, checked everything. He's like, I have no idea. And I think that's just like where it died. It just ended. And he's like, everyone just came up with this thought that like the men looked similar, just aged. And that aged man also looked like someone Reno was researching time travel. It's so, like, if that is real, how fun does that make life to find that out? It's just wild. Music still sound okay? Since I don't have to change the record, I'm just playing from another device. So I'm trying to fill in all these like little airy bits before I expand outward, and it's probably not as fun to watch, but ooh, I don't know what that is. I know you're asking Andy, but I don't know what that is. I've never even heard of that. Good news is that this is so lightweight that adding all of this isn't going to add any weight to the frame. So if I want to hang it, I can. I'll have to probably seal it in some way so that it doesn't... Just to make sure nothing falls off, but also maybe some sort of concern about dust. Oh, Corey Moo, your person. I need to look him up still. Or her, right? Is Corey a she? Can either one of you give me a cliff notes on what that book is about? Probably Andy, just because it might be difficult for HB. Just depends. I've never even heard of this. Uh-oh, okay. This is all the light purple I have left. Which means I either need to make some light purple or use wisely. We are running out of our cool tones, which means I need to get smart here. What if instead of building this section up, I start blending it out? What color are we going to do next? 19th century, Edgar Casey. Okay. All right. Now you've got me. I'm caught up now. A little bit. Don't have much black. Here, let's go into this seafoam green over here. Very interesting. You guys have anything exciting this week? It's supposed to be serious knowledge, and there's a lot of it, but I wasn't too convinced. Okay. Where did it originate from? Just like this, like somebody who claims to be a prophet? Wasn't Edgar Casey a, yeah, I guess prophet. Oh, damn. Okay, Raw Law of One plus Edgar Casey. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try and be smart and just build this base layer first. So it might not be as pretty up front, but you guys know, one, you're not a professional, but two, if you don't know, art usually looks worse when it's in progress. It's only until the end before it looks good. It always looks like crap until it's done. Dream sleep prophecy. Oh yeah, no, I'll Google it. Dream sleep. Okay, so interestingly, I was writing about that in I talk about the hypnagogic state in the next video the one I have to edit still. And how it's that spot between wakefulness and dreaming when you're falling asleep. And then I've learned that the inverse of that, when you're coming awake, but you're not fully awake, it's hypnopomic, I think, which is very interesting. And I've never tried any of these ideas of kind of waking yourself up right as you reach that state, like Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein do. But it's really interesting. There's a lot of studies around it. Oh, hey, Al. How are you? Good morning. Happy Monday. How are you? How are you? We're talking about all sorts of things. We're talking about books, but we're also talking about time travel. Okay. You've had visions when you wake up. Interesting. So the hypnagogic state is interesting for you. Okay. I talk to my subconscious before I go to bed. You guys have heard me talk about that before. I try to give her homework when I'm sleeping. And I feel like that's always, like, I drift into the hypnagogic state and then into sleep in that process. And I think that's what you're supposed to do, because I think that's, again, like when your subconscious and conscious kind of collide a little bit. Oh no, are there a bunch of ads? I didn't do anything different. And there is like no views. There's like, it's real slow today, so I'm surprised it's bumping up ads. Oh, there's snow on the ground, and I can see the wind blowing it. Al, did you ever hear about the potential time traveler in the guy's Airbnb shed? Originally TikTok, but it's probably made its way all over the place now. Wait, you guys, I've talked about this before. Speaking of unsolved mysteries, Jeffrey Allen Nash. No, Lash. Jeffrey Allen Lash. I want to know the mystery around that man. That was the guy who was found in his car, deceased, I think in LA a couple years ago. And everybody around him, when like people started, like when the police found out and they just started investigating, like friends and family and everything, it turns out that everybody who knew him thought he was a spy or like some sort of intelligence agent. And the story sounded nuts. I think he even claimed to be like a hybrid alien or something crazy. And all of this stuff, and the police are like, what a wackadoo. But then they go to his house because, again, he's passed away and they're doing this investigation. And they go to his house, and this guy has like hundreds of firearms, but they're all legal and they're all registered to him. And he had multiple cars, nice cars, that were like equipped in weird ways, that were all legal, all registered to Jeffrey Allen Lash, I believe. But yet nobody knows how he got his money or where he got all of these things from. And like they couldn't find any of his family. And it was just like, it's such a weird story. And then everybody just stopped talking about it. It was done. And I don't know. I always want to know what happened to that one. Anyway, my weekend was fine, Al. All that said, I worked on my next video, which will hopefully be out very soon. How was your weekend? Try to keep my hands in front of the camera a little bit more for the vertical feed. You did? Oh, exciting, HB. I'll be done with the first one soon, and I'll let you know when I start with the second one. And, well, I guess, actually, if you want to send me any pages, I can print them out since it's just some pages. And I've got the majority of the book. And I've got, like, a hole punch and everything, so I can update it if you want. Hey, Polly. Good morning. How are you? So does no one know this Jeffrey Allen Lash, whatever his name was, story that I'm talking about? Am I the only one that cared? I was fascinated. There were a couple articles, and then, like, again, it just went away. I'm really good, Polly. I'm really good. The sun's out. That's all I really need, like, in the winter. I'm not a cold weather person, so having decent weather makes, like, I mean, I guess not decent weather, but, like, when it's cold, having the sun really makes, like, such a difference. Hey, AJ, welcome back. Good to see you, friend. I'm glad everyone's popping through. Happy Monday. All right, I think this is a good idea of putting down this base layer first, even though I didn't want to. How are you? How are you? Anyone got any exciting plans for the week? Let's do... I'm gonna mix a little bit here. The lash, yeah, you don't know more. Okay, not really. Man, what kind of art is this? My mother wants copies of both. Nice. This is air dry puffy clay. I don't know what kind of art this is. I got an idea. I saw someone. I bought this clay for Christmas to do with my family, and I have excess. So I saw someone do something like this, but they were doing wool felt, and they rolled them into these little balls, and then they did the art piece with felt, and I thought, why I would not try it with clay? Yeah, air dry clay. Yep. So we're trying it out. And this is my 3rd day working on it. Oh, hi Jimmy, thanks. You're so kind. Worked the weekend, saw the football games. Yeah, right, football. I actually did watch a little football. I used tonight. That's cool. In the second book I have, hold on. It's right here. Let me grab it. Okay. In the second book. Ends on page 189, titled Misunderstood. Or, yeah, 186 is the start of that chapter. The poem? Let me see what page that's on. Is it titled the poem, that chapter? Something happened. First poem. First poem. It's here, yes. Oh, are you talking about us? In the poem you wrote? HB. Oh, I'm so excited to read this. Ah, how cool. So yeah, so it's, I have like 2 chapters after the poem, it looks like. Oh, I didn't mean to do a tie-dye one, but here we are, and I'm not mad. That's awesome. Need more coffee soon. Makes people think, or makes you think of people doing portraits with the different colored shapes. I love that. Pretty cold there, I think, as you wear a cap. Suits you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it is very cold here. It is very cold here. And I, not being a very large woman, get cold very easily. I'm a sucker for a good hat. Let's see here. Trey, welcome back. Hi, happy Monday. Is it? I think it's probably cold everywhere in the US right now. Maybe not, but it looks awful out there. You guys mind being back in my studio? I figured you guys didn't care if I was playing the records on vinyl versus not. Low 30s, yeah. That's. Oof. 'Tis the season. I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago, I heard someone say that they felt that we should switch Christmas and Valentine's Day. And I can't stop thinking about how much that would be more enjoyable, but it makes me think of everyone gets all excited for resolutions and change and the new year and blah 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 blah, and I get a little sucked into it myself at times, and I still feel, though, it doesn't feel like it's a new year and then I get real into goals. It feels like the new year is the start of the last haul of the year. So instead of feeling like it's a new year and I'm starting on goals, I always feel like it's the end of the last year and I'm gearing up for the fresh new year on, like, in the spring. It just always feels like, the spring really feels like when the year starts to me. 77. Oh, ow. Your young friends got engaged over the holidays. Well, that's exciting, HB. Do you feel how fast time passes? I think it depends, right? I think time, the more I learn, the more I don't understand time. And yeah, that COVID was 7 years ago. The more I learn, the more I don't understand time. And the more I can't make sense of it. And I am very much, I remember I saw a creator once say something about how we all kind of time travel in our own way when we are creating, like this, when we're in the flow state. Because there are times when the clock seems like it's going by so slow, and there are times when it seems like it's going by so quickly. And it usually tends to be wherever my head is, right? Like if I'm in a flow state, I'll like blink and be like, damn, it's already, 5 p.m. or whatever it is. And then there's other days when I can't get into the rhythm and I'm like, oh my gosh, this day is taking so long. And this creator's argument was that, like, in our own metaphysical way, we're time traveling in that observation of time, and how, like, time did go faster when you were in the flow state versus going slower when you are watching the clock, in the theory that, like, time is relative anyways and not what we think it is. So it was very broad and it was a lot, but it was very interesting. So yes, but I also don't know. It does feel like it happened a year ago. It does. 2020 feels like it was yesterday. I will say, I feel like I do that weekly highlight thing, like that video I made where every week I write down the highlight from the week prior. And if I didn't do that, I feel like I'd have missing time. I feel like I would think time was being wonky and just jumping so rapidly. But thankfully, this practice has kind of slowed me down and made sure that I can go back and be like, no, you lived this. 2021 happened. 2022 happened. I did have a moment yesterday where I saw something that was 2025, and I was like, that's not, like, for a split second, it felt like that hadn't happened yet. Like, we weren't at 2025. And I'm like, we're at 2026. I still think it's a date that sounds like it should only exist in, like, sci-fi movies. Nine years ago today. Congratulations to your brother getting out of it, coming through to the other side. Polly, the way in which my brain could understand that instead of just repeat those words and not actually know what I'm saying. Like, that's what I keep saying about the more I learn, the more I don't understand. Like, the more I learn about the way time moves or doesn't move, or the idea that maybe time stands still and re-move through it as a consciousness, the concepts, while broadening my mind and opening the possibilities for what I think could be true, also boggle me nearly as much. He's at dialysis. Okay. The biggest regret I have? I don't really do regrets. There are things that I would do differently if I'm not sure if I have watched that, Polly. It sounds familiar, but I don't remember it if I did. When it comes to regrets, there are definitely things that I would do differently. There are definitely things that I'm not proud of, but I don't really do regret. I don't like to look back if it's not productive. And, you know, in terms of regret, you could look back and say, like, okay, look back and learn from a lesson so that, you know, you don't do it again. You good, bud? Oh, okay. So you don't do it again, but I don't know that in general I believe in regret. Why do you ask? Just making conversation, or is something on your mind? And what do you think about regret? What the Bleep sounds really familiar. I think I did watch it, but I just don't remember it. You're older than HB? How old are you? Only if you want to say. I guess you don't have to say, but I don't know why you wouldn't. Most of the time, my life probably would have been worse. I don't know if you guys are comparing difficulties, but anyway, in terms of regret, I think it's good to learn from mistakes, but I don't think it's good to dwell on them. Yeah, agree. Oh, younger. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, that didn't, okay. Are these the same blues? No, these are all different. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you, Polly. No regrets. It's not conducive to my growth, I've learned. I'm a big believer in at least attempting to focus on what I can change. It's not always been easy for me, but the older I get, the more I try to focus on what I can adjust and change and not worry about what I can't. And one of those things is, you know, past regrets. You can't change them. So dwelling on them, it's just going to hurt your soul. Okay, I thought it was a is it a documentary? Or is it like a mockumentary? Is it, like, I feel like I've seen it. AJ, I agree with you. If those things don't happen with you, you wouldn't be where you are right now. Yeah. 33, Polly says. Wait, I have no idea how old you are. I can't see you. I don't even know how to see this, make this picture come up larger. I have no idea how old you are. It's a lot harder for me to tell when I can't see you guys. Okay, it was a movie. All right, I will look back into that. I feel like I did see it and I just don't remember it. Because it sounds so familiar. Yeah, HB, you've mentioned that before. Take a guess as we talk a lot. Al, I'm sorry that you feel like you have a lot of regrets. It's not a good feeling to carry around. I hope that someday you're able to forgive yourself for any of them. AJ, I don't know, I feel like you're younger than me. I'm not sure, but I feel like you're younger than me. I can't see you, but based on discussion, I'd say late 20s maybe. Mid-20s, okay. Or early 20s, yeah. Very cool. '20s or something, man. I enjoyed them, but I definitely liked 30s better. Alright, she's starting to take shape a little bit. Stay. How long have I been on? 45 minutes. Okay, good. Yes, Al, yes. Calm yourself. The storm will pass. Don't try and calm the storm. That's all you can do. Relax yourself. What am I going to do with my life? I mean, HB, I've been in that boat this whole time and I'm in my late 30s. You're talking to me, AJ? I'm almost 40. I'm 38. Yes, this too will pass. Always. Yeah, I hear you, HB, but I feel like my 20s and my 30s have been what am I going to do with my life? I'm still in the what am I going to do with my life stage. That's why I'm on YouTube all the time. I'm trying to figure it out. This is the first time I've actually felt... Polly. What do you mean kidding you? You don't believe me? That's sweet. In the game. No, 20s and 30s were very much, my career has kind of been, it's been very cool. I've been very lucky, but it's been a little all over the place because I've never been able to figure out what I actually feel like I'm supposed to do. And honestly, this YouTube channel is the first time in my adult life that I've decided to kind of pursue something a bit and never given up yet, and still don't see signs of giving up. Like I love art and creating things, and I love crafting, so like I'll pick up hobbies all the time and then I'll abandon them at some point, you know. This I have not shown any signs of abandoning. And if anything, I just get more motivated and I'm constantly thinking about it and I'm constantly getting ideas. And like I said, I'm in the late 30s, so I'm just now figuring it out. Oh, AJ, I have no idea. Camera tricks. I don't have any, I haven't done any cosmetic work yet. I've never had any filler or Botox. I am literally the only one of my friends I know who has not had it done, and I feel not so cute when I'm standing next to them because they're all so stunning. But so far, it's just, my Meg. Just what she looks like. I do think not having children, not that there's anything wrong with having children, but I do think not having children has made a difference because I'm not as tired as all of my friends with kids. Oh, happy birthday, Al's mom. Thanks for having him. That's exciting. Are you doing anything to celebrate her? Yeah, AJ, I love that. You're in the healing process, okay. Yeah, I do actually. I'm a big believer in energy, and I'm a big believer in the energy kind of preceding you. I've met so many stunning people. Stunning. Only to realize over time that what I saw that was so beautiful was partially radiating from inside. To realize that like they may not be as conventionally attractive as like my brain didn't even log it because I was so attracted to them as a human that you don't even think about physical characteristics. You're just like, this person is incredible. And I mean this in like platonic ways, like just literal attraction, not like romantic attraction. And I love those kinds of people, those people that like just draw you in, and they are never the most attractive person in the room. It's always an energy. And the older I get, the more I'm like, okay, hold on to that. Like that's the goal as we age, is to hold on to that energy, because as women enter their 40s especially, we start to disappear in a lot of ways. And I am just going to get weird and loud and old and be able to stand out in that way. I'm going to be like Iris Epfel. That's the goal. Thanks, Polly. Thanks, Al. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. Okay. I think I need a little more coffee. I don't want to get up. What I have left is pretty cold. Yeah, if you're good at something, keep doing that. Well, I will say, Al, actually, for anyone who's young, especially anyone who's young that's listening to this, something that I have learned as I've gotten older, that I try to tell other people that are younger as they're getting into life, is to be conscious of what you're good at. To be careful what you're good at. I think people don't talk enough about developing the wrong skills for their personality or personal goals. So, for instance, I say all of that to say, I'm a really damn good producer. I'm a really good event producer, an event planner. My brain's just good at it. It's what I've studied. I've done it for decades at this point, and I don't enjoy it. I don't like doing it. And so my nephew, who I adore, is in college right now, and I always tell him, be careful what you're good at, because if you don't enjoy something, just because you're naturally good at it doesn't mean you need to become excellent at it, and then make it so that that is what you do for a living, or that is what people come to you for support in because they know you're good at it. But if you don't enjoy doing it, then be careful what you're good at, or be careful what you advertise. I also, for instance, I'm very good with kids. I love kids, and I'm very good with kids, but I don't want children, and I don't want to be a babysitter. And so my neighbor, for instance, who is a very kind person, and we're very friendly, has a baby, and I have not put myself in that position of being asked. I mean, she has asked me if I'd watched the baby before, but I've not said yes or done anything like that, because I don't want to open that door to being like, oh, but you're so good with her and you're right here, because that's not what I want to do with my time. And it sounds really selfish and awful when I say it out loud, but I think that it's really important. Like, we're only here as long as we're here. Even if we believe in reincarnation, you're only conscious in this experience while you're conscious in it. So just be careful with what you're good at. Horton dropped 3-Eye Atlas. I have a Miley Cyrus voice. I've heard that before. You know what's funny? When Miley Cyrus shaved her head, or not shaved it, but like pixie cut her hair and dyed it blonde, I already had shaved my head and had it blonde. And I have a really funny picture of her on the cover of a magazine next to my New York State ID where we look like sisters in the picture. I have to find that. It is a tragedy to be good at the wrong thing. It is. So yes, just because you're good at it, don't necessarily keep doing it unless you enjoy doing it. It's your life. No one has a right to tell you what to do. Yep. It's good. I'll look into this HB. I don't know what that is. Hey, Master Blaster. Welcome back. You have a 7-year-old cousin. I'd never want to look after her for more than an afternoon. Yeah. And so it's like one of those things that, like, since this is my neighbor, if I had said yes to any of these babysitting requests, and if it would go well, which it would, because I'm good with kids and I know this, that would then signal to their brain, I'm good at this, I'm trustworthy, I'm safe, and I'm close. And it's not that she wouldn't pay me or anything like that. It's just that's not what I want to spend my time doing. I didn't have children because I didn't want to take care of children, so I don't plan to take care of someone else's child. And so I don't allow myself to get into that position. It's now or never. So it's like, remember that you have free will, and be careful what you get good at. Be careful where you allow people to know that you're good at it. Like, one thing that happens for me that I don't mind as much, but something that always happens, is anytime someone I love gets married, if they do not have a wedding planner for the day of, and they're trying to do it themselves, inevitably, unless I'm not very close to them, I will end up becoming the wedding planner. Day up, while there. Like, we'll get, for instance, this has happened so many times, where I'll get to a wedding and we'll look around and I'll realize that, something's not right, or something's not done, and someone will know me, will come up and be like, hey, oh my gosh, can you help? Like, we have this problem, like, I'm trying to fix this, can you fix that? And then I'll go fix the problem, and they'll be like, great, here's another problem, here's another. And then the next thing I'll know, I'll look, this happened a couple years ago at two of our really good friends' wedding. We got there and I realized they didn't have a videographer or anything, and they didn't really even have a photographer, and they didn't have a florist or anything. They were doing it all themselves, and we came in a day early. This was in Philadelphia, and I ended up doing all of the florals. I ended up setting up multiple people's phones to film it so that they could have a video of their wedding, and we did all of these things, and it was lovely, and they were so grateful, and it was awesome, and I'm so glad to do it. But now what happens is that I do that as a wedding gift for people that I love. That I'm like, if I love you this much and you do not have a planner, I will come in and I will help you get through your day. But I don't enjoy doing that, so I don't advertise that. Wow. January 22nd will be the best pictures for 3-Eye Atlas. Wow. Are you worried about your experience game for this game? Or wait, hold on. Babe, you can't live your life in this video game. However, it does sound fun. I've been playing Animal Crossing since they did that update. Okay, I'm liking this filled in a little bit more. And then when I add dimension on top of it, it'll come together. And it's so funny. I think, again, no regrets, but I do think that if my frontal lobe was fully developed when I was picking my major in college, I probably would have studied science of some type. At this rate, I probably would have tried to go into physics, but and I know I could go back to school, but I don't want to do that. I don't know what I would want to do differently. You know what I mean? It's not like I want to go be a physics professor. You can live when you can survive winter with the game. I getcha. That's gonna be, well, that would be me with Animal Crossing if I was not forcing myself to focus on this channel. But it does make winter pass easier. You're right. It's hard to enjoy and be in the moment in that state. Yeah, it's kind of like when people are like, put away your phone because there's a videographer and they encourage everyone to participate in the moment. Exactly, yeah. It's really like, yeah, I'm not enjoying the wedding in that state. And usually, I mean, I'm also running around. Like, I'm just, like that wedding, I don't even think I sat with my husband at all. I was running around the wedding the whole time. And I'm glad I did. Again, no regrets because I do have a younger sister, but you do not. That's not what you're looking for, trust me. We are nothing alike. She's wonderful in her own way, but we are nothing alike. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I'm happy to do it when I love somebody, but it does change the dynamic of the experience for myself, which is fine. It's not my wedding. And again, if they need it, I'd rather do that for them and give them a great day instead of a stressful day than like just keep it to myself that I can help. So I don't get involved when I don't know people. I don't get involved when it's not my place. But it's like, yeah, if it's someone I'm really close to, for example, it always happens. I've heard of Harvest Moon. I've never played it. Animal Crossing is just relaxing. That's why I like it. I don't need stress. I don't like stressful entertainment. I don't understand stress for entertainment. So, stressful movies, stressful games where you're under the gun, you don't have enough time, or like whatever. Stress is not enjoyable to me, and Animal Crossing is stress-free. No, she's not at all the same as me. Are you the same as your family members? More like opposites. However, she is on YouTube sometimes. She has a channel, but she hasn't been doing stuff with it lately. Why would you think that we're the same? Are you the same? I feel like most people I know are like the opposites of their siblings. We are so opposite. So she has 3 children with 3 dads. Not that I'm judging, I'm just giving you the full scope of what you're talking about, asking, and the difference between us. She is actually married to a Marine, and she lives in Japan, and we disagree politically, and we disagree on religion, and we disagree on basic etiquette. We have a lot of differences, her and I. She is quieter than I am. Yeah, it's one of those things, as long as it doesn't take up too much of your time, that's where you have to be careful with those games, because some of those games suck you in such a way where it's like you've just spent hours of your life in a non-reality. And that is probably okay here and there for a bit of escapism, but when it's addicting like that and it becomes a habit, like you lose so much of your life. She is, I believe she identifies as Christian right now. Her, no, she is both religious and political. We just disagree on those things. I think I might start bringing in like a green. It's interesting, my brother's the same way. He and I are actually closer than she and I, but we also do not agree politically and culturally. Hush. Your library has a dyslexia section? Wait, that's dope. That's cool. What is that like? What does a dyslexia section look like? Because dyslexia doesn't manifest the same in everyone, right? Like how it works. What is that like? Is it just research or is it for people with dyslexia? I'm so excited. That's awesome. Doing this itty bitty ones to kind of drop into these gaps. Because of you. Is it research on dyslexia or is it to help people with dyslexia? Sounds like it's to aid people with dyslexia since they're doing it for you. Yeah? It's so exciting. That's awesome. I want to know what that looks like. Al, you retracted something. I need to make like a really, really, really small one to drop into this, like these gaps that I missed. Did you watch the Bears game? I did watch the Bears game, actually. Extra space between words. HB, that's really interesting. I would have had no idea how that would have worked. AJ, thank you. I love that so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know what either, but I hope you're right. When I was little, I wanted to be an actress. Now with all the stuff coming out in Hollywood, I guess I'm pretty glad that I didn't. But I feel like there's always an energy around people that really want to do that. My problem is that, and I swear to God, and I don't know that people necessarily believe this because I don't think everyone feels this way. My problem and the reason that I didn't pursue acting is because I didn't want to be famous. I like the act of acting. And it's interesting because I still ended up on YouTube, right? Which still could still result in the thing that I don't want. But clearly there's a part of me that's attracted to being in front of a camera. Otherwise, both of those things wouldn't have happened. Oh, War of the Worlds. I have that book. Favorite actress, je ne sais quoi. Favorite actress and actor. Okay, I really like Donald Glover as an artist in general. I think he's really underrated. I like Donald Glover a lot. Actress. I don't know who my favorite actress is. I'm gonna have to think about it for a little bit. What about you guys? Oh man, Master, I am so envious of you. That is incredible. What do you do for work again? Can I ask? I don't know if I've asked you before, but I don't recall. Oh, you don't have to feel like a slob. There's so many little things you can do to help yourself feel better and not feel like that, even in a scenario like that, right? The littlest things, like enforcing yourself to take a shower and change into something maybe a little less comfortable than sweats. Like, and I'm saying this as someone who doesn't do this myself, but I will if I need to, mentally, emotionally. Um, there's so many little things you can do to make sure you don't feel like a slob. Ooh, Robert Downey Jr. Interesting. And Anna de Armas, she's beautiful, man. She is a stunning woman. Heath Ledger has a new documentary. Heath Ledger sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is. What is the documentary about? I really like this lime green added. That was a good call. Okay. Heath Ledger. I'm really excited to work on this video today. I don't have any client meetings, so I should be able to put my head down and hopefully get it done. That's my goal today. It is very relaxing. That's why I do it. Oh, you're a painter by trade. Trust fund secured, self-graph. That's awesome. I mean, it's awesome that you're secure in a time when so many people are not, you know? Mm-hmm. Sorry. Medicine. Painter by trade, trust fund secured, sell grass and smoke on the side. Wow. What a life, man. Oh, Heath Ledger. There's a new Heath Ledger documentary? Like one about him? Interesting. Power of creating good habits instead of living in hopes of good outcomes. That's really well said. It's very well said. I mean, yeah, the older you get, the easier it is to cultivate better habits because you start to care about different things. And I don't think that that's like a better than or worse than any other age. It's just like where you're at in life starts to shift. What you start to, yeah, I guess the decision-making process, right? Favorite country for vacation? You're asking me? I'm not very well traveled. So I don't have a lot of options. I've never been to Europe. In terms of countries, I've only been to the US, Canada, Mexico, and Japan. And in terms of favorite spot, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Japan out of those. However, if I wanted to just like rest and relax, I would pick Mexico. What about you? Monaco. I have so many countries I want to visit someday. Really funny. I know you guys know that I always say the dumbest thing that I believe in, kind of, is human design. And my human design says that I should be doing something like YouTube, but that it should have some sort of element of travel involved. And I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know what that means. And I do not have the means financially to travel next door, let alone to another country right now. So I don't know how and when that might come to fruition or if it will. However, I love the idea of seeing the world. I love the idea of traveling. I enjoy traveling when I get the opportunity. Drive a box down the road and make anywhere between $10 and $6.50 when I need dental and medical. I just go work in a factory until dental work is done. You're not you're not in the US, are you, Laster? New Zealand, it's very peaceful, nature country far from the modern world. Sounds beautiful. There are so many places I want to go. I don't think I could even pick a place next. Like, I couldn't even be like, okay, the number one spot I really want to go to. Like, no, there's too many. I want to go to all of them. Okay, stop, Sundown. Canada. Okay. Different American. Bhutan. I don't even think I've heard of that country, AJ. I'm embarrassed to say that my American education did not do me well when it came to geography. Nope. Ah, hold on. I'm gonna get copywritten if I don't change the artist. Hold on. It was Zakè, but it just switched to a different album that has somebody else on it. Let's do this one. I'm gonna take a quick coffee break. How about that? Have I heard of India? Of course I've heard of India. Is that part of India? Just because I suck at geography doesn't mean I don't know that. Okay, hold on, 1 second. Boo. No more coffee. I would make some, but it'll take too long. It'd be better for me just to do it when I get offline. Okay, so Bhutan's next to Nepal. Okay, see? Thank you. Thanks, Andy. Listen, I'm a pretty smart cookie. I'm just not good with geography. Quiet. I'm really liking the slime green in here. Let me pull that forward. Is it? I feel like it's not popping as much as it is in real life, but it's gonna be pretty, I think. Oh yeah, good, AJ. There's the one thing, man. I mean, it's not the one thing. There's multiple things that our education system could improve on, but geography, I don't know any Americans that are good at geography. Song is so pretty. I'm not even sure if you can hear it. It doesn't feel like it's very loud, but it's very peaceful. It's easy to just kind of like look out into the snow and the sun and get lost for a little bit. Germany, France, Italy, all of them. I would love to go see all of them. Butterfly habitat people are already prepping. See, that's exciting. I keep having these little glimpses of spring like that, right? Even though it's so cold and it's snowing and it's gonna just get colder in February, it's still like, I love looking for signs of spring. It's like looking for signs of your manifestation coming true. It's just like, helps the soul. I have friends in Germany I have one friend in France. I think two. Funny enough, I have friends all over the world. Partly because of living in New York, everybody in New York is from everywhere else in the world. But partly because when I was living in New York, I was working for a record label that was based out of London. So all of my coworkers were English. And actually, they were from all over the world. But it was a very cool experience that allowed me to know people all over the world despite not traveling there. Yeah, Americans are everywhere. Yeah, go make breakfast. I'm going to be off here soon. Thanks for coming through. I'll be back on Friday. So enjoy your week. It's called Communion. It's a small label. It's still in existence. Communion Records. Ironically, that sounds very religious. Spain. Oh, cool. I have a little bit of family in Spain. I don't know them. I do have family there. If and when I go, I will look them up. Bye, AJ. See you. Probably. Communion was founded by Ben Levitt of Mumford & Sons. Mumford's not on the label, but he's one of the co-owners. He might even be the sole owner now. So a lot of acts in that genre of music. I can't remember anybody now, but I think like Ellie Goulding started there. She was playing with us a lot when we were there, or when I was there, but I don't know if she's signed to the label. They're friendly with a lot of unsigned acts, and my job in particular was finding unsigned acts. And I would put on showcases that record labels would come to, including our own, and try and sign them. So it became kind of like an industry night where people wanted to perform for me because they knew that there were going to be record execs there, and record execs wanted to come because they knew that I was decent at finding good acts. And it wasn't, but it was put on by my label, even if my label wasn't interested in signing the artist that we were putting out, if that makes sense. It sounds weird, but it works. Yeah, Ellie's cool. Funny story, if any of you guys have ever heard of the band Walk the Moon, they got signed when they got signed, how they got signed, because of me and Ellie Goulding. Ellie was supposed to perform one night at one of my showcases as just like a headline guest act, and her flight got canceled because of, I think it was winter, and I don't remember, but her flight got canceled. And someone told me about, yeah, it was a showcase type thing, but it was monthly. I did it every month. And but Ellie couldn't make it, and at the last second someone told me about this act called Walk the Moon that I think were in Ohio. And they had like one music video that they had shot in their high school, and I think they shot it themselves at the time. I think it was Anna's son. And someone had told me about him, so I called them and I was like, can you be in New York tomorrow? Despite this blizzard. And they were like, yep, bet. And they got in somebody's mom's van and they drove out to New York, and they played my showcase, and they stayed in my apartment for like a month. And then got signed from the showcase. And I haven't talked to them in a decade now, but had Ellie not had her flight canceled, I wouldn't have called them. And I don't know, I mean, I'm sure they would have made it on their own right at some point, but the trajectory could have been very different. Your old Rolling Stones mag? Yeah, so it was cool. I left the music industry angry at the music industry. I actually didn't even listen to new music for almost like 3 years. I would only listen to music that was older than I was. I didn't want to hear anything new. I felt like anytime I turned on the radio, I would hear some act that I had worked with and that had pissed me off. And that's when I left the music industry. I'm still music industry adjacent. I have a lot of musician friends, and I will help them out in various projects when our talents align, but it was a lifetime ago. Oh, Roadrunner, yeah. It is kind of wild to watch how musicians' lives change. I don't know what's going on with Walk the Moon. I haven't talked to any of them in a while. Sean and I talk, the drummer and I talk sometimes on Instagram, and I thought that the band even took a break. I know Mumford had to, I don't know if they broke up or what they did, but they took some sort of break after Winston said some things on Twitter that pissed some people off, and it's a whole thing. Yeah, you used to love music and you don't anymore. It took me a long time to love music again. I really was like that mad at it that I didn't care about music anymore either. But I do again. And I'm glad I do again. Like, I want to enjoy music. I love music, but it just took a long time to get there again. Mother, Mother, I know that group. Why do I know that group? Oh, I didn't show you guys. I took out the little prongs that I was making. I still might do them. However, I'm not going to add them to the end. I think it was like finishing a section when what I needed to be doing was building the base and then completing sections. There's probably a completely different genre, but there's a really cool female hip hop group called Mother Nature. And I like them. They make their own jewelry. Alright, how are we doing on time? 3 minutes! It was a slow one today, but I'm okay with that. It was nice hanging out with you guys. I liked chit-chatting about time travel and various things. Thanks for hanging out. I know it was a calm one. I hope you guys aren't too bored of me. Countdown? Oh, the countdown, the last 3-minute countdown. This is coming out. This kind of color flow it's cool. I'm not mad at this. T-3. I'm gonna look into the Dean Radin on See What TiVo HB. And I'm gonna look into the Alcubierre. Am I saying that right, Andy? I'm gonna look into that too. I am hopeful I'll get my video edited. I'm hopeful I'll figure out how to get freaking faster. I hope that you guys have a good week. You're able to stay warm in your respective locations, except for Al, who's in SoCal, of course. I believe that's where Al is, right? Polly, I know we only have a minute, but what made you not love music anymore? Did you have a falling out like I did? Ah, were you previously a musician, Polly? Ah, understood. Okay, I get that. We all have long stories involving exes. You guys can't hear it, but right behind you is Monty's, I call it his window seat, but it's an elevated dog bed that goes up to the window so you can look out. You can hear him hopping down. Okay, guys. Last little corner here. Wow. Okay. So yeah, musician you are. Alcubierre. Alcubierre? Alcubierre. I'm making a fool of myself trying to do that. I'll do that one off camera. Man, this is so addicting that I don't want to stop. It's just like coloring. It's like part of the problem with doing the creative practice first thing in the morning. It's great because it gets the creative juices flowing, but then I get into this like art state where it's all I want to do then the rest of the day, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if I can figure out how to make my living creatively in this way, but you know, 2 jobs is cute, though I pay for everything. That's a funny way to put it. I hear ya. Money's a bitch. It is a bitch. Even if it's also magical, I do believe in the power of good thought around all things, and that includes money. So I am trying to reframe my brain functioning when it comes to that so that I can have a healthier mindset as opposed to thinking it's the root of all evil. All right. Last one this time. I promise, last one this time. Thank you guys for being here. Before you see me on Friday, you will hopefully have another... Oh, it's so bouncy. That's fun. Oh, okay. That's where it wants to live. Have a great weekend. Sugar Daddy Polly. Exactly. Money is freedom units. It's important to think of money in a healthy way so that you don't have a negative reaction to it, so it's not afraid to be near you. I'm working on it. Okay. You guys are the best. Have a great week. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for keeping me company. I will see you guys on Friday, okay?